Maxwell the back. A little swing pass. Touchdown, Caleb Smith. Oh, my, Mike Potsimney.
Presence out there.
Third down conversion. Everybody was covered too.
1 for 1 on the catch. Okay, here is the play. Coming into your living room right there, and there's a push off to get open. Both players go out of bounds. But William.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go. Just when you think it's safe to come back, we're knocking off the rust here a little bit. We, with some travel and some day job and some side hustle stuff, we've been a little busy lately, but feels like a good time to get back into it. We're gonna knock the rust off here, coming off the bye weeks. In true arena fashion, we had bye weeks, not just one bye. My reason for not being able to get on the show are incredibly boring, and I don't want to talk about it. Trey, on the other hand, did the exciting things. Hold on, before we get too far, Trey, it's been 2 weeks. We need to. What you got today? Good old fashioned
high quality H2O. Yeah, I got my Bobby Boucher with the off the wall sticker. Very rare. Very rare.
I am behaving much less. I've got a wonderful Blackberry Mighty Swell seltzer.
There you go. Let's rock it.
Let's rock it. So Trey was doing fun stuff, arena stuff. Trey, Brawl at the Mall 2, as it forever will be known. Brawl at the Mall. Any game played there will be the Brawl at the Mall, even if it's in the parking lot or some other arena. Brawl at the Mall, no questions. What was Brawl at the Mall 2 like?
It was really neat. That was my first time going to that space, and it's a massive building. Like, I don't think people hear the phrase mall and they're like, oh yeah, I've been to a mall. Yeah, no. This is one heck of a building. They had a water park, a stone's throw from where the football was being played, a theme park, like an indoor theme park. All the stores, all the things and stuff you can imagine, and then this giant area where these games were played. And I was there for the opening round Monday games, and I met up with a few other content creators out there in the arena football space. And it was just it was a ton of fun. Like that first game was very exciting. A lot of folks walking by and being like, "What in the world is going on here?" So I was able to chat it up with quite a few folks that had never even seen arena football before in any capacity. And then both games were blowouts that I saw. The second game was a little closer in the first half, and then the smoothie incident happened, and Vegas went on a 52-7 run. That was unbelievable in the second half.
Vegas looked at that and said, "We took that personally," and made it known that they took it that personally.
Yeah, so it was a very fun experience. Got to meet a ton of people. Just trying to get as active in the indoor arena football community as I can, and meeting some people for the first time, meeting some people for a second and third time. It was just really neat. I think it was a really good experience. And from what I saw from people watching at home, it seemed like it was not a perfect viewing experience, but it was pretty good, all things considered.
So I'll speak as someone who watched from home. Mm-hmm. I like that they figured it out. They took what happened in the AFL, and this is our off-field comment, clearly. They took what the AFL did and said, okay, what didn't work? And the AFL just had that center camera, had some really bad angles. They went to the corners. They covered more of the field. It changed up the angle a little bit, but I really liked it. It felt good. It was nice. It was a good, clean angle. And when you got down into the red zone, it was a more traditional view, which was good. And going towards the end zone, you had a really nice view of the play coming towards you. I loved it. Great broadcast. Very much enjoyed what they did there. Well done, IFL. The championship game did not disappoint. 3 of the 4 games were, you didn't miss much if you didn't watch. Unfortunately, but the championship game delivered all the fireworks and has me excited for round 3 of Vegas and Arizona.
Yeah, inevitably when that happens in the playoffs, it's going to be cinema. It's just a matter of, all right, where's it going to take place? Is it going to be in Vegas or is it going to be in Arizona? It looks like Vegas has the inside track to be hosting that second meeting or a third meeting.
Quite a bit. Quite a bit. All right, so Trey, we promised the people all arena teams, and we're going to go league by league, and then we're going to name our final all arena team across all 3 leagues. Everything's on the table. Statistical output, what we see on the field with the eye test. Trey and I had to talk a little bit about some of the linemen. I was like, this is that guy, right? Like, this is that tackle, right? Like, no disrespect meant to the big men. We love you all. We love the big men. We are big men touchdown fans on this show, but sometimes it's hard to remember who is playing all the games on the offensive line, and it makes it tough sometimes.
Well, that's the thing with isn't that the old cliche with offensive linemen? If you don't know their name, they're doing a good job.
That's it.
If you
it's
know
like
their
I was
name,
like, I had to
good.
text somebody and be like, "Wait, has Isaiah Hardy been playing?"
Yep.
It's like, yes, Isaiah Hardy has been playing. I should have known that I didn't know Isaiah Hardy was playing because I didn't hear about Isaiah Hardy.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're seeing holding number 65, false start number 65 multiple times, that number 65 is probably not making the all league team.
Correct. But these are, so we're each going to share our ballots, and then we're gonna come to a consensus. You will have no doubt who is on our all NAL teams here. So we'll get right into this. Starting off.
As we dive into it, I know the chat is going to have some thoughts and they're going to have some takes. So please lay it on us. Let us know what y'all think.
Yeah. Whose team did we hate the most and whose were we most disrespectful towards? I can't wait for those. That's my favorite part of this show. It's why I do this show, really, is so I can be told how much I hate X, Y, or Z team. Starting with our all NAL defense, I'll go through my ballot. I've got Dejon Emery, Kerry Starks, Michael Pillow Smiley on the D line, Evan DiMaggio, Darren Hungerford at linebacker, Laranji Vasan McCoy, Jalen Perkins, and Shaq Bond in the defensive secondary. And Trey has very similar.
A lot of overlap.
Quite a bit of overlap here. So talk to us, Trey. Who'd you go with here?
Yeah, I think when I was first putting this together, 2 names jumped off the screen to me from the games I've watched and just peeking at the statistics through the season. And that was Kerry Starks and Laranji Vasan McCoy, where Kerry Starks, he's just been an animal on the defensive line for the past couple of seasons now. And what he's able to do, and they've lined him up at Mac, they've lined him up at nose, they've lined him up at end. You put him anywhere, and he's a disruptive force. So he was an easy one to put in there. And then Laranji Vasan McCoy leading the league in interceptions. He's been pretty good in the NAL for the past couple of seasons, and he's been one of those top DBs out there. But yeah, Sam Hammond, I believe he was the Defensive Player of the Year last year, having another really, really good season. Then some of the guys plugging in here, like Evan DiMaggio, just having a ton of tackles. Same thing with Darren Hungerford getting in there and being disruptive, in the passing game as well. So I think when we got the preview of these 2 graphics, I was like, okay, at least one of these we're pretty much in lockstep for
right. We were. I mean, we're pretty like we got a lot of similarities across a lot of these. I'll say, but there are a few like difference makers. And I can go first. I know for me, the reason why I go Michael Pillow Smiley over Sam Hammond is I look at the cast surrounding him, and for him to be at 5 sacks with 17 tackles, on what is a lower tier Amarillo team, I think matters to me in the fact that he doesn't have the amount of talent surrounding him that Sam Hammond does. Sam Hammond's having a really good year, 5 sacks, 20 tackles. They're about the same. But for me, that just the supporting cast around Hammond puts him in an opportunity to do better in a way I don't think it does for Michael Pillow Smiley. Their next best rusher, Chase Alasakis, got picked up by the AF1 and hasn't been there for half the season. So Michael's doing a great job there. He's incredibly versatile. We saw that last year in AF1. And I would love to see him continue to get shots and opportunities and maybe even take a step up to other leagues as well, because I think he really is. He is a tenacious lineman, and you can line him up anywhere across the front, Mac, edge, nose, and that's great.
Yeah, that versatility in the indoor game is like you can't emphasize it enough. And I did think it was interesting. We had the 2 linebackers on there as well. And typically in the indoor style, you typically see that 4th DB sneak in there. But that just kind of goes to prove how well these 2 linebackers have been playing and what the type of impact they've been able to have both in the rushing game and the passing game.
I mean, for me, for Darren Hungerford, it's the fact that he's not. I believe he leads the league in tackles, and Evan DiMaggio is 2nd, Evan DiMaggio is 4th, but they're both top 5 in sacks as well as tackles. So they're making plays at every level. So they're playing as true linebackers, not just reserved in a Mac and Jack role. They're both capable Macs or Jacks. They're very flexible in this NAL, which is more of an indoor rule set, which is great, and they're punching and Hungerford's punching the ball out. There's no other linebackers that I even really considered in this slot. Like, I took a look at Tevin Shipp and Noah Purcell, but it was just Hammond, and the fact that DiMaggio and Hungerford play for 2 of the best teams in the NAL that make their bread and butter on their defense just really cemented it for me.
Yeah, in years past, you would see a lot more orange on this just because Omaha has typically run things in the NAL and CIF. And I think them having the season that they've had so far kind of narrowed the sights on it and opened up some of these slots. Speaking on potential honorable mentions here, Brandon Munoz, he's been really, really good in the indoor space, not just in the NAL, but he played over in Jacksonville. I think he had a couple stints in Jacksonville over the past couple of seasons. He's been great. He was with Wheeling, I think, for a little bit too. So everywhere he's been disruptive, and you just feel like if Omaha was able to rip 2 or 3 more wins, he might be on this list too.
I mean, it's why they're midseason. It's not an end of the year award. We'll get to the end of the year soon, but we're not quite there yet. And then looking at the defensive secondary, Jalen Perkins, 4 picks, 8 passes defended. Laranji Vasan McCoy, 7 picks, 4 passes defended. Sioux City and Omaha have very good defenses. Omaha in particular has really started to turn the corner here of late. So it really makes sense that those 2 land on here. And for me, Shaq Bond is an absolute tackle machine right now.
Yeah.
And he's got that flexibility. He's played some of that more Jack linebacker, but he also plays in other positions as well. And he's got 7 passes defended and 2 picks. He's a baller. And for me, Shaq Bond just really, again, we talk about the versatility, and it just really is what he is. He's a versatile player. I love that about him. And that's kind of why I went him over Travion Mosby. No disrespect to Travion Mosby. It's at the end of the day, there are 8 slots on this all NAL team. Even if somebody tried to sneak in an honorable mention on the offense, which we'll get to in a minute here, but that's just kind of my thought.
Yeah, it ultimately came down to Shaq Bond and Travion Mosby for me on my list, and it ultimately was the eye test in terms of that true DB. While Shaq Bond is a tackling machine, Travion Mosby just seems to fit the bill a little bit more for what you traditionally see in that outdoor DB.
All right, so Trey, we got a decision to make. The two decisions we got to make to lock this in. So who is the better defensive lineman, Sam Hammond or Michael Pillow Smiley? I always, oh my gosh, the number of times I have started to say Smiley Pillow, but it's Pillow Smiley.
Yes. I think as a whole, I think Sam Hammond is the better, more well-rounded defensive lineman. And this is just for this season, but looking at what he's done as a body of work the past couple of seasons as a whole, I think he is the better DL. And I'll concede the DB if I can take the DL here.
Yeah. I think we both said right there that, that guy was in our list. And I do think, like, I totally agree with you. Like, Sam Hammond does, although he has the talent around him, I do think the body of work is probably just maybe a little bit better. So you can talk me into Sam Hammond. And I definitely just think, because I would stand on the table for Shaq Bond all day, just because, again, as somebody who's, an old school fan, flexibility, versatility, love that. Play multiple positions, play them all over the place. Give me a guy who can play all over and is dominant all over. So, all right. So now we'll go to the offensive side of things in the NAL. I'll get started here. Oh, wait, no, this is, oh, shoot. I made a mistake on this one. Lord, you go to edit it. You go to edit it. So full disclosure, I made these last night at like 11 midnight. Okay. And I knew Trey's and I's were mostly the same, but I forgot we had 3 points of difference here, because that should say Javin Kilgo at quarterback. Because I am all for the Javin Kilgo experience. Tracy Brooks at fullback, running back. It's labeled fullback, running back, however you want to describe it. Bizette Woodley, Demarius Washington, and Stephen Newbold. And then on the offensive line, Dallas Range, Josh Moore, Adini Okeke. And we'll throw it. And so the big thing, we'll throw it over to Trey to go through his, and then we'll kind of talk through the switches.
Yeah, that is not a typo for me. Josh Hollins is my QB1 at this point in the season. But Jaden Sutton, he has just been so good for the Southwest Kansas team that has really leaned into running the ball. And the amount of touchdowns he's been able to rack up in the past month and a half, 2 months of the season. Like, it took him a little bit to get going, but once he got going, he's been on fire. And Bizette Woodley and Stephen Newbold, it's no surprise he's got the Javin Kilgo throwing the ball to him. So lots of deep balls, lots of big plays there. And then Demarius Washington continuing to do his thing. Regardless of the league, he's going to get his. But I did reach out to dear friend Krish Vyas for some help on the offensive line. So I did use a lifeline for this one to get Dallas Range, Josh Moore, and Tyrell Thompson. I know he is entrenched in the trench work of the NAL and loves this stuff. So big shout out to Krish for the assist there.
No, I mean, I think for me, Salina's doing good things offensively. It's not a skill position problem. It's a quarterback problem, but they're still moving the ball well. And for me, Kenny Okeke is part of what they do on that offensive line, which is great. And then Tracy Brooks, I mean, I will stand on the table for Tracy Brooks all day, because for me, Jaden Sutton is outproducing him on the touchdowns, but Tracy Brooks is doing everything in the rushing, in the receiving. Like, he is currently second in rushing yards. He's only 40 or 50 yards behind Sutton, but he is several hundred, I believe, yards ahead of him in receiving. So although Sutton has the edge on touchdowns, Brooks to me is the more, if I swap them, this is my favorite test. If I swap their situations, if I put Jaden Sutton in Salina, can Jaden Sutton still do the same thing? And I think the answer is no. I think if I put Tracy Brooks in Southwest Kansas, he does the same thing and more than Jaden Sutton is doing. Now, granted, I know we're comparing like two different styles of players here. Sutton's a more traditional runner. Brooks has become really this offensive athlete, versatile player who plays all over the field. But again, I'm a sucker for versatility. Yeah,
that's fair, and that's something you have to consider in this indoor game. Is a lot of the times the running back may not be getting the ball directly on a handoff, but they still find ways to get these guys in the mix, especially with somebody like Brooks, who is and has been Salina's best offensive weapon over the past couple of years.
Yeah, leading receiver, leading rusher. Like if you're leading your team in 2 statistical categories and your team is good, that matters to me. That matters a lot to me. Little fun nugget. Although Josh Allen is producing him on yards, Javin Kilgo, 29 touchdowns, despite not playing a full slate of games.
Mm-hmm.
But passing touchdowns, I think Josh Hollins has him on total touchdowns by a fair margin.
Yeah. Hollins is a lot more deadly on the ground, and especially to start the season. The first, I believe it was like 5 or 6 games of the year, Josh Hollins was on an unbelievable pace, kind of slowed down a little bit, and it kind of got reflected in the old win-loss column there. But yeah, what Hollins has been able to do, slowed down a little bit when Aaron Dilworth left town. And he was like an honorable mention on my list here.
I didn't object to that. I just honestly couldn't come up with a way to make it work graphically on this.
No,
I fit in an honorable mention. And again, I was working on this until 1 a.m. So my creative process was a little out the window.
No, it is all good. And strictly honorable mention because he hasn't been there for like a month and he still has 10 touchdowns amongst the league leaders. So he's still, I believe, I want to say he's like top. He wasn't top 5, was he? He's top 5.
Number 4
top 5.
He's top
in
5
in receiving touchdowns, and he hasn't played in a month and a half.
And I will say he could come back. I believe he recently got released by Albany, so it'll be interesting to see if Dilworth finds his way back to the NAL or if somebody else picks him up.
Yeah, I think he's down in Arkansas for the old Diamonds and the TAL, which we'll be touching on in weeks to come.
Oh Lord, 4 leagues. Whew.
Buckle up.
Good thing school's ending, so I have time to just dedicate myself to my true passion, which is football.
That's right.
So obviously, I think I'm going to concede Josh Hollins. I still am going to give Javin Kilgo the nomination on my ballot, but I'll concede that Josh Hollins has that edge right now. Let's see what happens in the playoffs and at the end of the year. Can I interest you in some Tracy Brooks at the official Arena Football Weekly all NAL team?
I think so. Yeah, I thought you made a great point about what the impact he's made in the receiving game as well, like leading the team in receptions while being the primary runner. That's big. That's big time. So yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah. And then I am happy to, concede Tyrell Thompson as well. Because Pueblo's offensive line has been good. They've opened up holes for Hollins. They've kept him upright. And I think that makes sense to me. That all makes sense to me. Yeah. Not a lot of tables being banged here. But
no.
I'm sure.
No, that's to come.
I think we're gonna start to get there eventually. We're gonna head over to the AF1, and I'm going to look at this. I even different themes. There was some graphical work here.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I'm going to let Trey take you through his all AF1 offense.
Yeah, this is where it's going to start to get a little interesting. I know we have some crossover here as well, but some points of difference here. Tyler Kolka from the beginning of the year has just been really great for Nashville. And even games where he hasn't been the Tyler Kolka that we know, they were still like 4 touchdown, 200-yard games. So I think he's been playing outstanding, and the longevity I think certainly plays a piece of it, where I've seen some other folks put a Sam Casanova at that number 1 spot at the midseason point. He's only played a couple of games. By the end of the year, maybe, we'll see. But at that running back spot, Shannon Brooks, I wasn't sure how Shannon Brooks was going to adjust to this true arena traditional style at that running back spot, but he's been amazing for Minnesota. He has just been so good. At the wide receiver spot, Javon Tucker, I think he's probably one of the breakout stars of the AF1 season out in Oceanside. What Rudy Johnson has been able to do, finding him not just on deep balls, but short passes, and he's able to make people miss and turn nothing into something, has been great to see. Darius Prince, no surprise here to see him producing regardless of the quarterback there. Where are they on quarterback 3 or 4 in Kentucky now? And he's making it happen.
It might be 4.
Might be 4. It's either quarterback number 3 or 4, and he's still making it happen.
Because it was Shea Spencer.
Yep.
It was Dalton Oliver.
Yep.
Did we get somebody else? But it might be. I think it's 3 before we got
so Overstreet. Yeah, Overstreet's the third one.
There might be a 4th in there that we're missing, and we apologize that in all the quarterback changes for all the teams in the league that were missing one for one team.
Hand up. We might be missing one. But to round out the wide receiver group, Darian Townsend. It's crazy to me because, like, if you were to ask me who's the best wide receiver on Albany, I probably wouldn't say Darian Townsend. I'd say Dwayne Brown. I'd say Isaiah Scott. But Darian Townsend has been producing the most consistently, while Brown will pop off for a good game here. Scott will pop off for a good game here. Townsend has been steady Eddie, seemingly getting 2 touchdowns a game every single game that they play, and he is the big play machine for them, and he has been the vocal mouthpiece, or lack of mouthpiece, I should say, for this offense in more ways than one. And he's the fire starter for this Firebirds offense. And then going down the O-line, Jamez Kimbrough, friend of the program, the big man touchdown that he had a few weeks back is more than enough to put him on this list for me. A 28-yard screen, juking and jiving all the way down to score the touchdown was amazing. And then Colby Bird and Torrey Boyd, both a couple of dogs out there. And Boyd's been doing it at a high level for a long time, and so has Bird.
Yeah, and we're pretty quickly. This is where I think we're going to have some good conversation, because at QB on Adam's All Arena, All AF1 team, Malik Henry. I don't know how you can leave the guy who currently leads in yards and passing touchdowns and has a handful of rushing touchdowns off this list. Like, he leads by a solid 100 yards on this list. And yes, you get the bad Malik Henry games sometimes, but God, they're just so good still. Like, even when he's bad, he's still a bad Malik Henry game means he throws 3 interceptions and like 5 touchdowns. Like, sure, he has one more game than Tyler Coca, but he's doing more with less around him. And I think that matters to me, even though Dan Williams is one of my receivers. Shannon Brooks is what it is. Mm-hmm. Ignore the change in theme. I had a 12:30 revelation that, like, oh, Minnesota should be yellow and Nashville should be blue and yellow. So, and then Darius Prince and Javon Tucker. I mean, Javon Tucker's just been an absolute monster out in Oceanside, leads the league in yardage, tied for second with Darius Prince in touchdowns. And Darius Prince is just doing Darius Prince things. Like, we thought Jalen Marshall might be the focal point of that offense, and Jalen Marshall is still an important part of that offense, but Darius Prince is just inevitable. Like, Darius Prince can go over the top. Darius Prince can go short, but where Darius Prince is clinical is the 7 to 15 yard plays, those middle of the field, mid-range routes. He is just an assassin who will pick your soul clean and leave you with no options to cover him. And then I had to go Dan Williams. Like, he's just had an explosive season, 14 touchdowns, a 6 touchdown game for a receiver. We have a class of guys here in Prince, Tucker, and Dan Williams who are like true offensive specialists. Just like, it doesn't matter what you do, they're getting theirs. You have to just hope they make a mistake. And then on the offensive line, I didn't have Tyler Coca, there needed to be some representation for Nashville here. Peyton Muljo. I'm butchering that, aren't I?
Sure. We'll go with it.
Sure. Peyton is, big man TDs aside, the Nashville offensive line is spectacular. And then in Albany, Colby Bird and Isaiah Hardy, just the Albany offensive line, no matter who's under center, opening up holes, keeping it clean, playing well against a really hard schedule where they're getting everybody's best shot. As we've been told a lot of times, Albany is, on this undefeated run, and it's not just the skill position. It is the guys in the trenches making it happen. So I putting 2 Albany offensive linemen on here just feels like the right move.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's one of those ones where, like, yeah, all right, I see the vision. I see what you're throwing down there.
Yeah. So we clearly have some points of contention here. Malik Henry versus Tyler Coca. This is where I think it's going to be a really good discussion. Someone in the chat, I'm going to I need to show this comment. I normally do that at the end. Are we serious? He leads all stats because he throws 50 passes a game, to which the response was, it's arena football. They're supposed to throw 50 passes a game. And that's my answer. Yes, he's throwing. He's going to lead in attempts. He's going to lead in completions. And he's going to have like a 54% completion percentage at the end of the year. And that is an arena football stat line, baby. I love it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It really is. The Michigan Arsenal offense, as chaotic and weird as that team is, it's just so much fun. Like, if I had a choice, I would make just Michigan and Oceanside play 12 times. And I just want that. I want to watch Michigan and Oceanside 12 games, no defense, all offense, all gas, no breaks. That's all I want in life, on repeat.
My counter to the statistics run that you had there was how many games did Tyler Kolka get pulled because it was out of hand? I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it was multiple. I can assure you,
it was that many.
I was at least one of them where he got pulled and Josh Jones made an appearance. So
hold on, what's an appearance? Like a series where he hands it off 3 times?
I mean, like going in there and throwing 2 touchdown passes on his own. So to me, the statistic argument doesn't line up because Malik Henry has I'm noticing a theme with you here: the Javin Kilgo, the Malik Henry, the gunslinger. What makes Malik great is also what puts him in a position to stat pad where he throws those bad interceptions early.
Hold on. I want to pause this. I want to pause this. Tyler Kolka gets the hook, and Josh Jones comes in repeatedly and throws 2 touchdowns. Josh Jones has thrown 6 passes this year for 3 touchdowns. Okay, you're not
one of those games.
You're
there was
not
2
going to
touchdowns.
give me this. Yeah, but you're not going to give me this. Oh, Josh Jones is stealing so much work from Tyler Kolka. He's not. Yeah. He's not. And yes, but I love the YOLO ball because it's just magical. It's magical, and where you can't go for it on 4th down, and where you can't punt on 4th down. What does it matter if I throw a deep pick? What honestly does it matter if I pin them deep? Like, what does it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's the same as it's like a punt.
Josh Allen arm punt.
Don't you dare slander Josh Allen. I will take some insults, sir, but you will not talk about Joshua Patrick Allen that way.
I knew that would get you. I knew that
would get me. That would get me fired up. I love a good arm punt. I love a good arm punt. I love a good YOLO ball.
To me, it's the eye test with Malik, where he's got the gaudy stats, he's got the numbers, but we've talked about it, I believe, on this program before. The back foot passes drive me insane. They absolutely drive me insane.
I know.
He has the arm talent to overcompensate and make up for it. But the fact that he does it so often and puts himself and his team in bad spots, I'm like, I can't do it. I just can't.
It's so beautiful, though. Like, because then he gets him out of it. Like, we saw it in the intro. Like, he throws that beautiful ball to Dan Williams all over the wall. So, but, and I would say Tyler Kolka has played 1 fewer game. So at the end of the season, Tyler Kolka will probably outpace him. And Tyler Kolka will also... Oh, I just got a text being reminded that we get Michigan versus Oceanside in week 12. I will be, circle your Sean Leota letting us know. Tap in.
I will be tuned in.
I will be tuned in. We might need to do a watch party. Like, I don't know what we're going to do, but I just want emotional overreactions to that one. But you can talk. I can concede Tyler Kolka. You can't go wrong. And at the end of the year, you know what's great this year that we haven't had in a while in AFL/AF1? I think we're going to have a really strong argument to argue about quarterback at the end of the year between Malik Henry, Tyler Kolka, Sam Castronova, and, oh, by the way, don't sleep on the one and only Rudy Johnson. We're sorry, I was not familiar with your game.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest travesty is that, man, if Oceanside had a couple more wins on the column, I might be able to talk myself into a Rudy Johnson argument.
God, I love the Rudy Johnson experience.
Yeah.
So, Receiver. Can I talk you into Dan Williams over Darian Townsend? Just because, for all the reasons we just talked about, we both have a YOLO ball guy on here, and Dan Williams is just such a better YOLO ball guy than Darian Townsend. And Dan Williams is like, he's just so good right now. Like, he's everything I thought he'd be. We've been waiting for the Dan Williams experience for a couple years now in Arena, and we finally get it. And it's just everything I thought it would be.
Yeah, I can very easily be talked into Dan Williams, especially the big players, big games mantra. That game against Albany coming up just so big and giving it everything they got. Yeah,
has anybody lost more close games in worse fashion than Michigan right now? Like, they've been in their record is deceiving when you look back and look at their schedule and their games.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, and then O-line, we both have Colby Bird there.
We love Colby Bird.
I love my guy, James Kimbrough. I love him so much.
I am never. You know what else is great? Like, this is great. Again, it has been a while since, like, last year it was very clear who all the guys were. We can have some good arguments and discussion
100%,
about all these guys this year.
This is what it's about.
I'm never going to – and you know what? Kentucky threw 3 quarterbacks, keeping the guys upright, and oh my God, how did we not? QB1 at QB at the end of the year. Darrell Overstreet's going to be in that conversation. He's already first in rushing touchdowns already. Just an absolute monster.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like, oh my God, where did he come from out of nowhere? It's like Cedric Walker and the Kentucky Barrels were just like they go into Albany, they lose a tough game, and then it's like, oh my God, it's Cedric Walker with the Darrell Overstreet steel chair to the head of the AF1.
100%.
Yeah, just it's gore. It's cinema. Can I talk you into Isaiah Hardy still though?
I think so. Yeah, I think absolutely. Yeah,
I think that's a good combo there, and it should appropriately also keep the Albany fans a little contented and keep them off our backs a little bit.
Yeah.
Calm, Albany. Calm. All right, I'm going to throw it to you to talk about your defense.
Yeah, defense is where it gets fun. A little Kentucky heavy here, but I think we have some good explanations. Ezekiel Rose, he was 1-1 when I was building out this all AF1 defense. Where I'm like, oh well, yeah, I'm going to put Zeke Rose right in the middle there. Jaquan Artist had that massive 5-sack game earlier this season against Washington. Michael Badeo has been really good on that Washington front as well. Drew Singleton, an absolute tackle machine for Albany. And Shiloh Flanagan doesn't have the stats that jump off the page, but he's just such a tall, lanky receiver. And he's a big eye test guy for me, where he fills in those lanes. And we've seen him force quarterbacks to make decisions they didn't want to make because you've got a 6'5" frame blocking a throwing window that they would otherwise have if anybody else was out there. Then going to the DB room, Joe Powell has just been unbelievable this year. Byron Edwards over in Washington and Marcus Smith over in Albany have been ball hawks all over the field. And who would have thought we would have 2 Washington Wolfpack defenders on this list?
Me.
Who would have thought?
This guy right here, this guy. Let me tell you. And I will take you through mine because Michael Badeo really popping. Finally got his stats corrected to get his 6 sacks updated, which is great because he has just been all over the place on the defensive line, playing inside, playing outside, playing all over the place. It's been great. So just seeing him and all he's doing has been spectacular, and following his journey. Like, he's played everywhere. He's played IFL. He's played overseas. As a lot of guys at this level, he's been involved in a scam league, which is where, like, I met him. We got conned in a stock football league in Mobile, Alabama together. So we go back. So I am definitely biased when Michael Badeo lands on my list, but he's got the stats to back it up. He's playing edge and D tackle for that Washington team and just doing a great job at it. Jaquan Artist, Ezekiel Rose, no questions. Two of the best. Like, It's easy on the defensive line. It's 1, 2, 3, done. And then I went a little off book here, going to the Mac linebacker and going to Chai Hill. But Chai in 4 games has 3 sacks. So hasn't played a full slate of games like some of these other guys, but still a dynamic and really talented rusher from the Mac position. Really love to see it. And then you really are speaking to my heart with Shiloh Flanagan. But production matters. And
Yes.
Derek Maxwell has been spectacular for the Cats. And that Cats defense has been great. You know, when you look at the tackle numbers, you know, Derek Maxwell, 24 tackles, 3, you know, and an interception on the season in 6 games. You really gotta love it. And it's really great to see. So I really like what Nashville's doing defensively. And I think Derek Maxwell is a lot that makes that defense go. You know, and then we're aligned, Joe Powell, Byron Edwards. Byron Edwards is just, you throw the ball in the air in Washington, you have to playing Washington, you have to be worried because they're coming down with everything. Byron Edwards, you know, and now adding Danye Dixon and Eugene Ford, this secondary got a lot better, a lot bigger, and a lot more physical look out. And then my main switch is Simeon Burns. Simeon Burns is top 10 in the league in tackles as a DB, sticking his nose in it, playing hard, and has 3 picks to go along with it as well. You know, he spent a little bit of time with Billings in the AFL in 2024. And so he's just been I think he's an underrated defensive back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to me, I just had a hard time putting anybody from Oceanside on here because they've given up 60 plus 4 times this year. So that was I can't do it. I just can't.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. You know, and to people who might be saying, well, Drew Singleton's actually a jack. He might be, but he plays both positions because a jack can't get sacks. That's just right. That is the name of the game. The jack really can't get sacks.
Yeah, so we got a couple folks that are purely eye test guys. Maxwell, what he does on the offensive side of the ball in the red zone too, running the ball, that can't be ignored. Kind of a tip of the cap to the old Iron Man days as well. So I could easily concede Maxwell on the combined roster here.
So I think then it's I think we just merge the linebackers. I think it's Maxwell and Singleton. Yeah. I think that's very clear. You know, all the love to Chai, all the love to Shiloh Flanagan. Just again, you really tugged at my heartstrings with Shiloh Flanagan.
All-time name. I still can't believe his name is Shiloh.
All-time name. Just great story. Just so good. And just big physical and still producing offensively. Just great. We love to see it. And you know what? I love Simeon Burns, but the 60-point thing has me thinking you can talk. I could give you Marcus Smith. I can give you Marcus Smith at DB there.
Fair.
You know, and Joe Powell just I think I texted you 2 weeks ago that it was just Joe Powell just had the most disrespectful interception return I've ever kick return. It was a kick return. It was just that was the most disrespectful return I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And I loved every second of it. There was no
100%.
Love him and Byron Edwards, of course. So we'll jump over now. Last league. We'll jump last and certainly not least. We'll you want to start offense or defense in the IFL?
Let's do defense. The offense will be a fun, lively combo. Let's do defense.
Okay, so we'll start with defense. I'll let you go first while I get my keynote. See, third visual style here. You can see why I was up so late working on these.
Yes.
But also, if I just focused a little bit more, I probably wouldn't have made those mistakes.
Yeah, just run through the defense here. Jonathan Ross has been unbelievable for Green Bay, and just so much production on this Green Bay team was lost on both sides of the ball, and he was able to come over from he's part of that Bay Area Blizz Panthers, merging of tribes, so to speak, and he hasn't missed a beat. He's been unreal on that defensive line, just so disruptive. Keeping contain on a lot of read option quarterbacks that they face up in Green Bay. And Keyshawn Moore, he's another one that is just an animal in the middle. While the Quad City defense has not been great and has been underperforming, he has been a bright spot on this defensive line, and it's not because of him that they've been struggling at times. And then Rafiq Abdul-Wahid over in Tucson, coming over from Green Bay. He's just been so disruptive, not just on defense, but on special teams too. I believe he has multiple blocked kicks where he just has a vicious swim move and he's able to get around the blockers and get in there. And I think there was one, I want to say it was against, I forget who it was against, but it was like the team they were playing was kicking from their own end zone. They blocked the field goal and ended up recovering it. And it was just such a momentum shift. And it's just what he's been doing, not just this year, but in the past couple of years combined in his time in the IFL. Ian McBurrow from Vegas, just a tackle machine, and what he's able to do in the pass rush as well, just so disruptive. And he's just so good at the middle of that Vegas defense. Tulsa's Trey Harvey, friend of the program. Trey Harvey he's the mayor of Tulsa. He's the Tulsa hometown kid, and he is the guy that anchors that Tulsa defense. And a same situation there where Tulsa's defense hasn't been what they have been in the past, but it isn't necessarily at the fault of Harvey. He's the one who's calling the shots in the middle there. They've had to play him at defensive back when they had some injuries hit in the middle of the season. So he's super flexible, and that he's the straw that stirs the drink there. Kevin Ransom leading the league in interceptions up in Quad City, coming over from Green Bay. Marcus Gray. Marcus Gray is an interesting one where Marcus Gray, they line him up at linebacker as well and blitz him. So he has a ton of tackles on the season, and they can play him all over the field, and he loves getting physical. He loves getting active. And then last but not least, Ravarius Rivers. He is just so good, and it's just shocking to me that he's not in the UFL right now. What he's able to do on that San Antonio defense and really keep these San Antonio games low-scoring slugfests, because that's the style that they have to play. That's the style they have to play to give it a chance.
Who would think that a team named the Gunslingers would play in low-scoring games?
It's so funny. It's just so funny. And Ravarius Rivers is a major reason why he's able to do things in the secondary. He's able to come up and run support. I believe he's the long snapper too. So you want to talk about versatility. He's all over the place. So there are several names I could have easily been talked into here. But these are the guys that really jump off the screen eye test wise for me.
I mean, it's very clear. One of us is eye test. One of us is, don't confuse effort with results.
Yeah.
It's like numbers matter at the end of the day. And Allen Henry's producing sacks, which I like. I'm a sucker for sacks, but he's got some tackles for losses. He's doing some work. It's nice. 3 sacks, 6 tackle for losses. So 9 negative plays is great. And Leon Smalls tied for first, 4 sacks, 7.5 tackles for loss. And that Fisher's freight, that Fisher's defense. Oh, it's good, man. It's just spectacular. They're really going out. They're really putting it to it. Maurice Jackson is a casualty of me. Again, my late night delusions. I was seeing things. I was hearing things. That he is on the New Mexico Chupacabras. I was like, wait, Vegas?
Correct.
No, I didn't think he was there. He used to be on Vegas.
He was, yeah.
But a guy with 9 tackles for losses and 2.5 sacks on a team that is going through some growing pains on both sides of the ball. The fact
That's a nice way to put it,
still
yeah.
Producing at that level matters to me. So Maurice Jackson is on my list, 10 out of 10. Ian McBurrow on that Vegas defense. Similarly, that Vegas defense is spectacular. You have to include a guy like that at linebacker. I cheated a little bit. I only went 1 linebacker, so I could talk about 4 defensive backs that I like.
As you should. As I should.
It's flexibility. It's the IFL. We don't have the defensive rules constraining us, so we could do some fun stuff. Obviously Kevin Ransom, number 1 in interceptions, the 5 breakups to go along with it. But Breon Murray, even though he doesn't have the picks, 10 pass breakups. So I'd call that 13 pass defenses in some way. against, so he's leading the league in that category. Terry Roberts also up there. Vegas Nighthawks have to have him on the list. And then last but not least, of course, Riverius Rivers just starts and ends there. Just, somebody in the chat is agreed that Clifton Duck was left off. I will say one thing that I noticed as I was looking this, Robert and Duck were both on my kind of like short list. And for me, when I looked at the numbers, Roberts has more interceptions and Duck has a lot of assisted tackles.
Mm-hmm.
So he's getting to the play and helping, but he's not finishing the play. Roberts is less around it. Like he doesn't have those same numbers. And to me, that matters. Like the difference between a tackle and assisted tackle does matter a little bit if we're splitting hairs, which we are because we're trying to narrow down full leagues worth of defensive players into 8 slots halfway through the season. Hashtag for the brand and for the content.
That's right.
So we have some discussion here because we both clearly think the Green Bay defensive line is great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Coach Corey Roberson knows how to get to the quarterback.
Yeah. I will say, I think that as you're looking at it, you're not going to go wrong. Like really, you're not going to go wrong with either of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I would trade you your Jonathan Ross for my Leon Smalls because I will stand on the table and bang the table for Leon Smalls. Like I'll go to the wall for that Fisher's Freight team right now, especially defensively because we've seen them win some really, really, really tough and competitive games against good teams, and we've seen that defense come out and force their will on people.
Right. Yeah, I think that's fair. Ross, Smalls, and then who are you thinking for the third? Because I Moore and Rafiq Abdul-Wahid, those are two of the biggest eye test guys for me where they may not, like, even then they jump off the stat sheet at times, but it's just the impact they make is just unbelievable.
You could sell me on either of them. I'll give you that third line slot. I'll concede that. So you have to pick which one you love more with the eye test.
Oh no, I'm gonna make one of them mad. I know it. I'll go with Moore for this midseason check-in. Just because every single time
you hear that, Rafiq, Trey from Off the Wall doesn't like you. He likes Keyshawn more than you.
That's right. That's exactly what I said, verbatim.
Verbatim.
Yeah, it's just this. Like I said, the Quad City defense has been underperforming, but it's one of those things where when they need a big play, it's usually Keyshawn Moore breaking through late in the game to give them that big play. So yeah, I just love what Keyshawn Moore does from the nose guard spot.
Yeah. And then we both have Ian McBurrow as our main linebacker. Then it's, I like what you brought up about Trey Harvey. So I'm gonna, no problem with that, Trey Harvey. And then DB, we got 3. So we got a Terry Roberts versus Marcus Gray showdown.
Mm-hmm. Well, Marcus Gray, here's a fun fact. He's a friend of the program from Off the Wall in this past season. His day job, his non-IFL job, he's a slam dunk person for the Indiana Pacers. So does that sway you at all? I mean,
that definitely will sway me, and you're giving Fishers more love. Like I can get behind
he's a professional slam dunker. That's pretty cool.
I wish I had the okayness with heights to be able to do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is one where we can't really go wrong either with
no, I mean, again, we're dealing with just so much talent in all of these leagues that it really is. Again, we told everybody it was like it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's just
in some of these. And now the main event, IFL offense, because we respect defense in arena football, but we like offense. It's why we do this.
Right.
So Trey, take us through it.
Yeah, so I had this lively debate with some fellow content creators out there about the quarterback spot earlier today, and to me, it kind of comes down to a couple of different names.
What?
It comes down.
How is there I'm gonna let you go. I'm sorry.
Listen, let me cook. Let me cook. Liam Thompson is, to me, is the clear runaway number one at this point in the season. Just based on how well he's played, and he's just far exceeded expectations. I feel like Jaden Delora has played extremely well, all things considered, with that one loss coming to Liam Thompson in week 1. And then I think James Cahoon has been sneaky good for the Sharks team that has quietly put together a 7-1 record. At the end of the year, we'll see where everyone stands. But I think at this point, Liam Thompson has just been head and shoulders above everyone else. And I think he's deserved of that QB1 spot. At running back, this is where we can have some conversation as well. But I saw Dominic Roberto's 100-yard game in person down in Orlando. And it was arguably the greatest indoor football game I've seen from one singular player. He was just getting 6 yards a carry, 5 rushing touchdowns. He's just unbelievably good on this Fishers offense that prioritizes running the ball. And you put him and Josiah King back there, and it's a nightmare. But he has been playing a lot more than Josiah King, and what the production they've been able to get out of him has just been outstanding. Germanic Smith, wide receiver for Tulsa. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Keep going. I
was going to say Germanic Smith from Tulsa. He's clearly wide receiver 1. It seems like you blink and he has 4 catches on the opening drive of some of these games. And he has finished with 10, 11, 12 catches multiple times this year. And him and TJ go back a long ways, and they have a relationship that I think goes back to college even. So it makes sense why they have that connection. Arlen Bruce, I know they're going back and forth between a couple different quarterbacks down in Arizona, but he has been that consistent wide receiver 1. Had a mega game against the Tulsa Oilers earlier this year and has just been super consistent. Nyquan Murray down in Orlando, another one where when he goes off, he goes off. I think he had in that game against Fishers, he had like 13 catches for 3 touchdowns and 140 yards or something, just something absurd like that. And that's something that he's done multiple times this year. And there's a lot of wide receiver talent that got left off this list that I was going back and forth on for so long. But offensive line wise, Jalen Booth, he's just so good for the San Diego offense. And when they have him at the center spot, things kind of calm down. And I think that's obviously a great thing for the Strikeforce offense there. And Devon Donaldson, just a mountain of a man on that Fishers offensive line, where if you're running behind him, you're going to accidentally gain 3 or 4 yards. Like, I think either of us could probably gain 3 or 4 yards running behind that guy. And then Chris Strotter down in Arizona, he's just another one where, through the passing game, through the rushing game, he's always impactful. He's always out there. And he's one of those guys that really stands out.
Yeah. Liam Thompson is just unequivocally, I don't think there's a debate right now because his team is winning. He's producing 46 total touchdowns, 33 through the air, 13 on the ground. Sure, we can talk about James Cahoon playing well, efficient, but in 1 fewer game, he has 7 fewer passing touchdowns. And, oh, by the way, don't forget Liam Thompson has 13 rushing touchdowns. Does James Cahoon have any right now? I don't think he does. So just Liam Thompson to me is where this conversation starts and ends until somebody slows him down, which nobody's been able to do. It's just, he's been spectacular. And he was the question. We were like, who is Liam Thompson? Spoiler alert, next year, quarterbacks in the arena space. If you get disrespected by Arena Football Weekly early in the year, you're going to have
That's
good
a good
season.
thing. That's a really
See
good thing.
Liam Thompson and Rudy Johnson. We both were like, I don't know about these guys. Boom, done. I don't know how you can talk about running back in the IFL and the answer isn't just Jimmy Robinson. Because yes, sure, maybe these other guys have more touchdowns, rushing, but Jimmy Robinson also has 319 yards through the air, which is good enough for 19th in the league as a running back. No running back is near him. Nobody's touching him as just like, if I'm talking about an IFL indoor style as opposed to arena style, I want a back who's going to contribute in multiple ways. And that just shows here, Jimmy Robinson, Tracy Brooks, like 2 sides of the same coin. they're both going to just do a lot. Josiah King, if he'd kept on that early pace, would be in this spot too. Then just going to receiving, I don't know how Quinn Williams wasn't on your list, but, and, again, Quentin Randolph also, I think, needs to be on the list because I think Vegas has just been so good. Like, Vegas is so good. How can you not have a Vegas player on this list is really it. Sure, the yardage isn't there in the gaudy numbers, but he's scoring 12 touchdowns a game, and he's played 2 fewer games than Quinn Williams and 1 fewer game. Like, he's at 7 games played right now.
Yeah.
He's a few. Yeah. And, Nyquan Murray, spectacular. I was not familiar with your game, sir. Well done. As I've been learning arena or indoor football, been spectacular to watch on a touchdown plus a game, and really help Paxton De Laurent make it here. Then on the offensive line again, Fishers has to have an offensive lineman on this team. We should even have 2 probably, because they have just I think it's 7 running backs at this point that are just gashing people every game. Like, again, you and I could go out there and run behind that Fishers line. Moses Mallory in Vegas needs to be there, just, playing hard, playing physical. And Green Bay, you're not making all these things happen for Liam Thompson if you don't have an offensive lineman. And, it's just, again, I'm a little less familiar with offensive linemen, but again, I don't know your name. And I know you're playing, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. And
somebody start tracking pancake blocks so I can have a statistical argument, please, dear God.
Yeah, I mean, Carter has been doing great work in the IFL for a couple of years now, and that's why he got that bump up to the UFL or a couple weeks back. So it makes sense why he'd be on this list too, because he was playing really well. He's not back in the IFL. He's not back in the IFL, but he was playing really, really well.
Okay.
Yeah, he just got called up like a week ago.
Okay. So I've been, it's the end of the school year. So, spoiler alerts, testing is a wild thing at the end of the year. So
Keon, I love Keon Williams. He's one of the most dynamic wide receivers in the game, but it's one of those things where if he doesn't have 7 catches for 120 yards and 3 touchdowns, it seems like he has 2 catches for 20 yards. It's one of those boom or bust type of things. So that's why ultimately I went with Jermanick Smith on this list. The Quentin Randolph is 100%, he was one of the ones where I was like, how can I squeeze him in here? So I can 100% have him on there. And like you said, didn't even play in that Orlando game, and this Vegas offense was still able to pummel this Orlando defense.
Yeah. So running back, we have a very clear, we're very much, it's interesting to me how we're very diametrically opposed in what we want in a running back in indoor. It's I want the versatile guy. Trey wants the guy who's going to run into the line and get all the touchdowns, but it might be 4 yards at a time, but he's going to do it.
He's gonna get it in chunks. Yeah. The thing why I didn't go Jimmy in this spot is because the ground game for Jacksonville just hasn't been as effective as you would think. And where Jimmy has really made that impact is in the receiving game. And you got to find a way to get him involved. You got to find a way to get him in the mix. But when you look at the running back position, it's in the name, a running back. And what Roberto's been able to do, just running downhill, but behind this behemoth of a Fishers O-line pretty consistently throughout the season and having some longevity at it. I think having the split backfield with Josiah King probably takes away from his resume there, but Jacksonville just hasn't really been able to get the ground game going. So do we present a third option? Do we present a third option that is neither, maybe bridges the gap a little bit between Jimmy and Dominic Roberto?
Are you going to recommend Josh Tomas because the chat is lighting us up here?
Yes.
And you're afraid of confrontation and conflict?
I can't see the chat.
Oh, okay.
So Josh
the
Tomas
chat is adamant that Josh Tomas is left off. They are egregious.
Arena football coverage, calm down. Okay.
But that makes me want to zig harder. So I'm just going to find a random person to throw out here just to further disrespect Josh Tomas, because I'll go full heel here. Let's go Yeah, let's go Puka Williams. Let's go. Let's just get weird, man. Let's get weird.
The Smoothie King himself.
Yeah, the smoothie. I mean, come on. That celebration alone is worthy of consideration.
Yeah, so the running back spot, that's one. It's tough. I just don't know.
There are 3 good options. You really can't go wrong with those 3 guys. And guess what? They're 1, 2, and 3 in Lord, I start a thought and then I start looking at something. 1, 2, and 3 in touchdowns. You know, so it's like they're all good. This is another thing where we can't go wrong. What I would say is Jacksonville. Are we sure that so Jacksonville realizes they can't get the running game going. So let's get Jimmy involved and let's keep him involved. And he is involved and he's productively involved. In his offensive totals, I believe his yardage is going to be greater than either of the other guys. I don't know Tomas's receiving numbers.
Tomas, what he's able to do running the ball, catching the ball, and lined up out wide. I have him, spoiler, I have him listed as my kick returner, right? So he's just able to do so much so well. So yeah, if I'm not going Roberto, I'd probably go Josh Tomas.
I do love that Fisher's team though. I really do. And it's an insane, like, how many rushes do you think Roberto has on the year?
I mean, I saw 20 of them in Orlando, so he probably has at least 80, maybe 90.
75. He's averaging 5.7 yards a carry. He doesn't even lead his own team in carries. Felix Harper leads the team in carries. So the one thing I will say is Fishers has 3 guys with double-digit rushing touchdowns. So are we stat counting purely, or are we using stats to start the discussion? Because if you have 3 guys on your team with double-digit rushing touchdowns, to me, that says it's the offensive line more than you. And that would be my Jimmy Robinson argument, is the offensive line isn't letting him get going, but he's still finding a way to be productive through the air. But you could also talk me into Josh Tomas.
Yeah, I think the Josh Tomas swerve is the move here, especially coming off the couple of games he's had.
We're just going full off book here. I love it. I love it. But that's why we do the show. All right. Receiver.
I think you got to have Germanic Smith, and we're both in lockstep with Naquan. I can easily be talked into Quentin Randolph in the spot, replacing Bruce.
Quentin Randolph replacing Bruce. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. R.I.P. to your boy. You hear that? You hear that, Williams?
Dude.
Trey hates you as well. Trey prefers other people to you.
I hate everybody. I hate everyone. I hate this game. Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough exercise. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, and it's like, this is one thing, like, semi off field, but like NFL people, it's like they never know the guy. NFL podcasters never know the guy. We know the guys, and we're gonna get text messages. The fact that I don't have text messages from some receivers because I left them off my list is a little shocking to me. I'm sure they're coming.
Yeah, I'm already getting some notifications, so I'm looking forward to reading through those.
Yeah,
later.
Wait until we post it. Wait until we post the graphics. That'll really do it.
Yeah, that'll fire some people up.
All right, offensive line.
Yeah, I think what you mentioned with the Fishers O-line, I think that makes sense. Where we could do Donaldson, could do Simmons.
I mean, we could put both of them. I think
so. I think if we do both, I need Jalen Booth on there just because he's the anchor of that, not just that San Diego offensive line, but that entire offense. He's the vocal leader. He's everything for that offense.
No, I mean, and I think that just I was looking at that and I initially saw like, Felix Harper has a bunch of rushing touchdowns too. I didn't realize Josiah King also had double-digit rushing touchdowns. That's obscene.
It's a problem.
Like, that's insane. Yeah. To have 40 rushing touchdowns between 3 players is wild.
And we're at the midway point too. Yeah.
And some people have been clamoring in the chat for, where are the special teams guys? Well, for graphical purposes, they all went on one graphic. So
there you go.
talk to us about your special teamers, because it's really hard to put 9 names efficiently on a graphic. This was purely a selfish Adam move to make my life just a little bit easier. And I got to put the 3 balls next to each other, which is a fun look as well. So
there you go. Yeah. So I'll start from the bottom here. IFL. Callum Sutherland has been a deuce machine for Fishers. He has figured out the Fishers venue, and it's a tricky one. You kind of got to bend the ball around the Jumbotron and sneak it in there. And he figured it out in week 1, and it seems like he's getting 2 or 3 of them a week every single time he steps out there. So he's just been really, really good. Josh Tomas, I don't understand why people still kick to this guy. He's getting 20, 25 yards a pop. You blink and he's at midfield, and this Vegas offense does not need help gaining yardage, and he gets them halfway there almost every single time. AF1-wise, I went with a pair of Nashville folks. Kyle Kaplan at the kicker spot. Seems to be getting into the groove with deuces as well, and he's been one of the best kickers in all of indoor football over the past couple of years, and the fact that he landed in Nashville is a good spot. And Amos Coleman, he's another one where he doesn't have as many like kick return touchdowns as some other folks on the list, but he's a big eye test guy where if he's able to field the ball, he's able to get it, he's getting 20 at least. And so another one where this Nashville offense doesn't need help, but they're constantly in a good position to be successful. And then the NAL one was a little tougher for me kicker wise, because the thing with kicking is that like the kick it into the 200 levels counts as a missed field goal, even though it's practically a punt. So the yardage is all over the place for them. But I went with Carlos Vasquez from Southwest Kansas, and then Quintuan Brown from, I believe he was with Pueblo, right? Yeah, I believe it's Pueblo. Yeah, he was one that just jumped off the stat sheet, and I went back and looked at some of his plays. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, that's a guy.
Yeah, I mean Pueblo, just no arguments there. Like Carlos Velasquez and Quintuan Brown, just I think they're night and day better than anybody else in the league right now. I think Kyle Kaplan is really it in AF1 right now. And we just saw Henry Nell got released by Kentucky, so it'll be interesting to see how things shape up at the end of the season. But Kyle Kaplan's been the most consistent kicker, the guy who's held the job, and the guy who's converting deuces and field goals and everything else. For me, though, I went Vance Bennett out of Michigan. A little bit of irrational Michigan love for me, but he's averaging 18 yards of return on 23 returns in 7 games. Amos Coleman certainly could be it. It's just there are a lot of really good returners right now in AF1. There's a lot of really good returners across the board, just really setting things up. But Bennett in some close games been really good. And again, maybe a little less in front of him than some of these other guys. And then heading over to the IFL, Bailey Hale will forever be my guy.
Hell yeah.
Another, I managed to get 2 MLFB guys onto this list. Akil Greer, looking at you, buddy, and Max Mailer and Jaquan Johnson. Jerome Johnson. Let's get it together, guys. MLFB representing in the 50-yard game. And then Josiah King. I know, so you just shouted the virtues of Tomas from the rooftops, who's only 0.2 of a yard better than Josiah King, has 11 more yards. And so Josiah King's so good. Like, it's a shame that Fishers has him and Roberto and Felix Harper that he can't get more run. Like,
he's also dealt with some injury issues too.
Yeah, and some injuries. Like Fisher, if he gets healthy, either play him or trade him. Get a haul. Like, let's see some player for player trades. IFL, give me a draft. Let's get this going. Like, let's get some players for picks going here. Let's get fun. Let's get weird. So we're pretty aligned for the NAL. And I think that just kind of like schematically, I think the reason for that is because I think you see the better kickers end up in the IFL and AF1, and the NAL guys get scooped up pretty quickly to go to those 2 leagues. when somebody isn't performing and guys don't necessarily bounce down to the NAL. So we have some special teams options to get together here. So Bennett or Amos Coleman?
I'll concede to Bennett. Amos Coleman was a big eye test guy for me. So I'll give you Bennett.
I'm sensing a very big bias towards teams you have seen play in person, Trey.
Look,
are you not grinding the film and just letting the pop of the atmosphere bias you? Potentially.
Brother, nobody watches more ball than me, I promise.
Nobody. I can't even hold a candle. Good.
No,
Lord.
But that being said, I will pound the table for Callum Sutherland. Like he has just been
that was it. I couldn't not put Bailey as my guy. Because Bailey would be in my messages being like, what the hell, man? We sweated our asses off in Mobile together, and you do
the
that
law
to
student.
Me?
The law student, Bailey Hale, going to law school during the day, kicking bombs at night for the Tulsa Oilers. Unreal.
Love it. Love it. And then Josiah King versus Josh Tomas.
I'm leaning Tomas. It is
so there is one problem because we put Josh Tomas as our running back, and I don't think you can qualify in two places.
I think you can, but okay.
No, you can't.
He has been
all-league
good.
Team have you ever been able to qualify in two teams?
I'm pretty sure Tomas did it last year. I literally think Tomas did it last year.
That's just Vegas exceptionalism, like trying to just control, everything. It's like give Josiah King his flowers. Give Josiah King his flowers.
When he's healthy, he's up there. It's the when he's healthy part.
Give him time. Let him bounce back.
Okay, give him a Tylenol. So you see who.
I'll give him a Tylenol. We'll work on some stretching, but we'll give Josiah King. We'll give Josiah King the nod because I am also very biased. Because last year Josiah King damn near dragged the Corpus Christi Tritons to an upset of the Nashville Cats with like 3 touchdowns. It was spectacular. So, Trey. Spectacular episode. Great.
Very fun.
We'll have we'll drop these graphics tomorrow along with a link to the episode. So that way you can share with your friends, hey, these guys are awesome, or hey, look at what these idiots said.
Look at these
all
buffoons.
Are accepted. Look at these buffoons. Big weekend of games. They're all big weekends of games. 3 leagues packed. NAL's wrapping up. IFL, we got Saturday showdown, Fishers in Jacksonville. Absolutely loving that one. And then on Sunday, we get Quad City in Vegas. Quad City fighting for its life.
Yeah, that's a tough spot. The biggest line of the season is Vegas minus 23.5 over Quad City right now, which is that would have floored me before the season.
That still floors me. That feels way too big. Am I crazy?
It feels a little big, yeah. But that just shows the direction of the two teams right now. Vegas is riding the highest of highs, and Quad City's holding on for dear life.
Yeah. Then over to the NAL. Last weekend of the regular season in the NAL. Any games you're particularly watching there?
Let me get it pulled up here.
I think Salina in Colorado. We got Salina in Colorado, and I think that's probably the biggest one. Playoffs, I think, are fairly set.
Yeah, they're just about set. I think Southwest Kansas, Sioux City, that's probably a preview of something we'll see in the playoffs in a couple of weeks. So probably highlight that.
Playoffs are set except for seeding. So Salina needs a win to hold on to the 2 seed over, and a Pueblo loss a Salina win and a Pueblo loss definitely puts them in. But other than that, we're good because Louisiana and Amarillo can't catch Omaha.
Yeah, Omaha's locked in. They finished the season strong.
It's been good. They've reached the Vincent Espinoza phase of their season. And then heading over to AF1, we get a we get a Cascade Clash, AF1 after dark, 9 p.m. Eastern kick, Washington and Oregon on Saturday. Let's go.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. And then we get Oceanside, Albany. I think everyone's expecting Albany to control that one, but Oceanside's feisty. They've shown that they can put points up, and if Albany gets in a gunfight, you never know.
I don't know that Albany's defense is as good as it was last year, because there have been a lot of teams that have punched with them. Michigan punched with them. Washington punched with them. And Oceanside might be able to punch with them, but the defense just in Oceanside might be so suspect.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah, Oceanside could put up 50 easily, but when you give up 80, that's not good.
Yeah. And then Kentucky and Minnesota. Minnesota trying to figure something out here. Just desperately trying to figure it out to hold on to something with their season. I don't know. I know Javonte Johnson got injured last week. I don't know what his status is, how injured he is, if he'll be out or not this weekend. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, then we got TAL kicking off tomorrow officially. St. Joe's.
Oh boy,
the Arkansas Diamonds. Yeah,
let's go.
We're overflowing here. We've got way
okay.
too much.
Can I make a request that we shelve TAL until we get through the NAL
need some bandwidth
season?
Yeah, we need some bandwidth.
When we get through NAL playoffs start next week, and that'll just gentleman's agreement. Thank you.
Yes.
Just I want to get into the TAL because I'm excited about it, but I need some time. I can barely keep up with your ball watching right now. I need to, school ends in kids stop it in 2 weeks. I'll have a lot more time, and then we'll be full go in July. Full go. So, Trey, anything you need to plug? I know we went a little over. Trey requested a hard stop of an hour, and we're at an hour 21. So I apologize to Trey.
I made the request because I knew it would bleed over. So this just played out exactly as I thought. Got a new episode of Off the Wall dropping tomorrow. Special guest on the program. He's an IFL champion. He's an IFL Cup champion. It is Lorenzo Hernandez, defensive lineman for the Vegas Nighthawks. So very fun conversation with him about his journey. And we'll see what other shenanigans we dive into.
Love it. Love it. All right. That's Trey. I'm Adam. This has been another episode of Arena Football Weekly. And hopefully we're more consistent and right back next week. We will see you next time.
Maxwell the back, a little swing pass, touchdown, Caleb Smith. Oh my, Mike Potts
presence out there.
Third down conversion. Everybody was covered too.
1 for 1 on the catch. Okay, here is the play. Coming into your living room right there, and